Hello, everybody. This is Jeremy from Property Inspection Manager. It's great to see so many people here. And
hello.
Hello. Oh, that's lovely to get a voice at the end of the computer. I know people are there. I can see quite a few, but
Hi, Jeremy. Holly's Townsville.
oh, nice to hear from you in Townsville. I feel like Ryan Adams or some form of pop star who's trying to make some money out of doing an Instagram concert, but I don't play any musical instruments. So at the moment, I have a slight technical challenge, which is I have to let everybody into this meeting. So just bear with me 2 seconds while I let everybody in, and then I'm going to kick off. One thing I was going to ask is if you're happy having video on, at least I can see some faces and get some reactions to stuff. But if it's at all possible to turn off your microphone, that would be really, really cool, just so that I don't get loads of background noise in my ear. But just give me 2 ticks and we'll get cracking. Okay, right.
And
video.
hello.
Hello,
Hi.
Tanya.
I'm Tanya.
Nice to see you.
Hi, I'm Seiko.
Hi, Seiko. Lovely to see you. Right, I'm going to.
Again.
It's great to see you as well. Thank you so much for being with us today. Okay, I'm going to kick this off and get cracking. So, a couple of things to start off with. Firstly, to everybody who's out there, I hope you're okay. I hope you're going okay wherever you are in Australia, or if you're in New Zealand. Welcome from a very wet and blustery Western Australia, and nice to have you with us. In today's session, I'm going to focus on specifically the relationship between Cirrus8 and Property Inspection Manager. So what I'm going to do today is go through a few things and try and just show you what's going on and how you can optimize the integration between the two platforms. So hopefully everybody can see me okay, everybody can hear me okay. Give me a thumbs up if you can see and hear. Fantastic, great. Now, one of the things I've just asked is, I'm admitting people as I go, because we haven't quite worked out how somebody else can do that. So if I seem a little bit distracted now and again, it's because I'm letting somebody else in. If you don't mind, I'm really, really happy to have a few videos so I can see faces, so I can see people are there. It just helps me a little bit. But if you can turn off your microphone, that would be absolutely fantastic, so I don't get loads of noise in my ear. If you do not mind doing this, it would be absolutely brilliant if you could ask questions using the chat facility that's available with Zoom. And so if you use the chat facility, Nikki will be able to answer questions on the fly. And if you want to ask us questions after this, then I'm going to put up an email address, and also you can continue to ask questions after I've done the presentation. Okay, does that make sense? Thumbs up if it does. Super, thank you very, very much. This is the biggest webinar that I've ever done, and it's more, it's making me feel more nervous than when I've been a best man at 2 weddings. So if I start fleeting a little bit, that's why. Okay, so today's session, let's get cracking. Cirrus8 and PIM. What we've been working on over the past 3 to 4 years with Cirrus8 is something that really focuses on what does the client want. And the great thing with Cirrus8 is Cirrus8 is based in Western Australia. We're based in Western Australia. So we can actually work together to focus on what makes a difference to you. So what I want to do today is we've been getting quite a lot of feedback from clients that not only do people want to do more inspections on assets, but they're also wanting to do more inspections on assets that are potentially vacant at this moment in time, or they want to do common area reports. So on a regular basis, go around a property, go around an industrial estate, go to a small shopping centre, and basically do a report on those areas that aren't inside, but they're common to all of the properties. The other thing that we have developed recently is the ability from PIM to be able to raise a work request on site and then push that back into CirrusFM. So I've been playing with this over the last few days, and it's really quite a neat little system. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to bring my iPad up first. I'm going to take you through the process of using PIM with Cirrus8, and I'm going to evidence and highlight some of these things that I've got in a list here. Once I've done that, I'm going to go into Cirrus8, and I'm going to show you where it goes to in Cirrus8 and what the process is like within there. So I'm going to try and keep it simple and keep it to PIM first, Cirrus8 second. Okay, so I'm just going to escape from here, if I can do, and show, right. So I'm just pulling that down. Right, I'm now going to try and bring across my iPad onto the screen. So this is where I can do with some thumbs up and smiley faces. You should see it change in the screen in a second. It should bring up my iPad. If you see my orange screen on my iPad, and then you see PIM with a white screen, can you just put your thumb up if you can see PIM on there? Great, super, great stuff, okay. So one of the things that we've tried to do with the Cirrus8 relationship is focus on Cirrus8 is the central source of truth, and PIM is the tool that you have on site to be able to capture comments and photos and put them either into a report and now put them into a work request as well. So remember, with PIM, you can either use it on your iPhone or on your iPad. Once you actually set up your PIM to start off with, talk to us in Cirrus8, because you can link your Cirrus8 account into PIM, put in the API number, and you can choose to be able to import into your device scheduled inspections for either 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or 120 days in advance. So you can bring down onto your device any scheduled inspections that are ready to inspect on a property or have been scheduled to be inspected. Now, what I can do then is I can go to import, I can drag down on the import screen, and it brings across any inspections that are ready to be conducted. And you'll see in here that you've got a number of properties that have got a green bar against them. And those green bars dictate or suggest that this is the first time that that property has been inspected on this device. If you have an orange bar, it means that it's already been inspected on this device, and it's going to do a repeat inspection based on last time. So if you're doing a regular monthly or quarterly or 6-monthly inspection on a property, and you want to tweak the profile for that property for the first time, every time you go through subsequently, it will have your inspection with the right areas in the right order. And you'll also have the comments from the last time you did an inspection on that property. Now, what you'll see in here as well is you've got the inspection, you've got the address of the property, the date of the inspection. You've also got in here a different property profile. So one of the things I was going to mention to you from the outset is, with a little bit of thinking, you can create different property profiles, have them included within Cirrus8, and they can match up with property profiles within PIM, so that when you do an inspection, it will set up your inspection with that property profile. Now, that will also give you the flexibility, if you do common area reports, to create a profile called a common area. And within that common area, you can have all the things that are important to you when you go out to that property. So it may be that for a common area report, you've got the exterior of the property, you've got the entrance, you've got reception, you've got stairwells, lifts, all that sort of stuff. And you can set it up so it automatically creates that report with those areas that you're after. What I've also seen over the last couple of years that more of our commercial asset managers are also doing regular, or some of them are doing more regular visitations on properties. And so they're creating property profiles that could just be a drive-by inspection. So you could actually create a property profile that just says drive-by inspection. And it might have areas of concern, overall comments. It can be as simple or as complicated as you want. So what I'm saying to you here is you've got the import function, which is very direct. It's straight from Cirrus8 into PIM. It brings through the details on the property. It brings through a property profile, and it will set your inspection up accordingly. Now, one of the things that has been an issue in the past is that originally when we started the integration with Cirrus8, it was all driven around a lease. Now, what we're seeing is that lots of properties don't have leases, and people want to conduct common area reports based upon a property, not against a lease. Now, the workaround with this is if you want to do an inspection or an inspection on a property, what you need to do is use the miscellaneous lease option. If you use the miscellaneous lease option, it allows you to conduct the inspection on the property. It's not related to a tenant. Now, my understanding is that Cirrus8 usually has that miscellaneous lease set up when they're getting you set up because you use it for accounting purposes and other bits and pieces. If not, have a chat with the Cirrus8 team and they can help you get set up with a miscellaneous lease on a property so that you can go out and do those common areas inspections or those inspections on a non-leased property or a vacant property. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to import a property for me to do an inspection on. In fact, I'm going to import them all. Continue. Okay. Now I go into my inspections. I'm going to choose from today this one here, which is my Hampton Road commercial inspection. Actually, I'm not going to choose that one. I've changed my mind. I'm going to go for this one here. I'm going to go for the Norton one, Balmain. So this has come through, and you'll see in here that the tenancy name has come through as common area. So this is where I'm going to do a report on a building and the areas that are common. It could be on a monthly basis, quarterly basis, 6 monthly basis. When I tap to go into my inspection areas, I've set up within the system a list of things that I'm going to look at. So I've got here the exterior building, the gardens, the main entry, the car park, reception area, bin area, stairs, etc. Now, I have mentioned this before. If you haven't seen me before, I apologize, but you can change the first time you go out to a property, any of these areas. So you can delete areas, you can add areas. So you've got the correct match of what you're looking at and in the right order as well. So if I press edit, I can delete those elements that I don't need, and I can add additional areas if I require them. So in this instance, I'm going to add an open plan office because it is a common area. It appears at the bottom of my list. I can press edit, and then I can move that up to wherever makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to drop it in here, press done. So within this list of rooms that I've got, just bear with me 1 second, just letting somebody else in. I've got the correct rooms or areas that I'm looking at in the correct order. And I've also included at the bottom here, maintenance required, suggested improvements, and our summary. Those areas, which are generic areas, go onto the front of the report, and you have control over those if you want to. Our standard ones are maintenance required, suggested improvements, and our summary. However, you can add anything in there that you want to. So if you want to have, like I've got with one of my clients down in Sydney at the moment, a very, very simple report which just says areas of concern, our summary, you can have 2 if you want to, or as many as you want. I've just noticed something. I want to move that mailing room out the way, push it up here. Done. Okay, got my rooms in the right order. I'm going into an area. So if I press exterior building, now I can capture my comments and my photos. So with PIM, I've got my quick check labels, clean and damage working and maintenance required. Those are the standard ones that we have within the system. But if you want to change those, you can, and you can change it within PIM. So I've got some clients who will have good, fair, maintenance required. Others will have satisfactory, tenant action, landlord action. Some other clients will have none at all because they just don't want to use them. They just want to focus on taking photos and putting comments with those photos. The choice is yours. So I'm going to keep it as this for now. Tick once, tick twice, it turns red. So in your report, you've got a visual prompt to say this is something that needs looking at. Now, with my comments, I've got notes and I've got additional notes. Obviously, I can key in my notes if I want to. One of the things that I'm seeing is since we created the iPhone version, a lot more people are using Siri to capture voice to text. If you've got an internet signal, that was always the defining thing that you needed to have if you're going to use voice to text. With the latest versions of iPads, the actual Siri is native on the device, so you don't have to have an internet connection. Check out with your device and your Apple dealer to see if you need an internet connection for Siri or not. But what I'm seeing is a lot of people just dropping into places, clicking the microphone, or taking the microphone in this instance, and it will capture voice to text pretty well. What you can also do is take your photos, maybe a couple of notes, and then sit in your car and finish off the report very quickly using Siri. The other thing that you can do is if there is something that you're going to use on a frequent basis, you can add that to your list of shorthand words and phrases. And shorthand words and phrases basically is that library of commonly used terms that you can build up within PIM and you can just drop into an inspection. So the way I can grab hold of those is to either use the circles with crosses that appear above the keyboard or to the side of the notes area and the additional notes area. If I press the little circle with crosses, it brings up a list of all of the different words and phrases. I can just touch them and drop them in. I can filter those as well on the area so that you can actually build up a library of commonly used terms that just get used in the garden or in the car park or in an office. So again, you can find them quicker and then just drop them in. If you actually put something into additional notes, it doesn't go into the report. You can use additional notes to create a separate list of items that somebody else can use back in the office. It won't go into the inspection report. So you can use that for your own purpose, or you can use it to go to someone else who can then go through a list of things. So what I can do in here is I'm going to show you two things. Put something in here, but also how to capture a shorthand word and phrase if you want to use it later. So what I can do in here, and apologies for this analogy straight away, but in this additional notes, I'm just going to capture this property is in such, this property is in such bad condition that the only thing that I can recommend at the moment is to put a bomb under the floorboards and set it off. And what I can do from here is I can use the little clipboard with the plus sign, and it says, do you want to add this to your shorthand words and phrases? And I do, and I want to add it to all areas, and I'm going to use a abbreviation of BOM. I can add it to all areas, and now that's been saved to my shorthand words and phrases. So I could build up a series of phrases, for example, gardens being maintained to a high standard, lawns mowed, all flower beds weeded, no problems to report, and have that saved straight away. So you don't have to think about it. You can do it when you're out on the fly. Now, this is the important piece that I'm going to go into now, which is the ability with photos to mark them up and also use that photo to generate a work request that can be pushed back up into CirrusFM. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take a photo. So if I go to, and the way I can take a photo is I've either got the photo bar or I've got the camera icon on the side of notes and additional notes. I'm just going to press that camera icon. Up comes my camera. So on this instance, I'm going to take a picture of what's beside me. So I've got a picture here. I've got my photo and I've got my multi-shot camera. My multi-shot camera allows me to take multiple pictures quickly. So I can use this to take a photo after a photo after a photo, which is ideal for a sweep of a room, or if I'm going to do a property condition report, or if I just want to take a load of photos very quickly. If I want to take a picture and just use my photo option, it allows me to take a picture. And then I've got some additional options that I can do in here. So I can go down here, I can add some notes to my photo. I'm just going to put something in here, tidy desk. Okay, and those notes get attached to the picture and will appear above the picture in the report. The other thing that I can do is I can go to the edit function, which is in the top right-hand corner. If I go into the edit function, what I can do now is I've got a suite of tools that appear in the bottom right-hand corner. You can use your finger, or you can use, you can use your finger on your iPhone or on your iPad to use these tools. I'm just going to try using my Apple Pencil in here. So I've got an arrow feature in here. And what I'm going to do is select the arrow feature. I'm going to change the color to red, and I'm going to point at something. So I'm highlighting something in my picture that needs a little bit more explanation. I can also use this to draw as well. So I've got the pen feature, and I can draw around the fingerprint. So what I'm doing here is, particularly with things I've noticed, like you've got marks on walls, or you've got a hole in a wall or a crack in a wall, sometimes it's not that easy to get an accurate description of it. So marking up and annotating is a really good way of doing things. So I can also add some text in here as well. So I'm going to add a text box in here, and I can put in fingerprint. And that's done. And then I can touch that and I can drop it to wherever makes sense. So I've got a number of tools, a number of colors, so I can do whatever I want in here. I can put an ellipse, or that's right, ellipse in there. It's a really nice suite of tools to be able to mark up a photo. Now that photo will go into your report with those markups on it. So once I've completed my picture and my markup, I can save it. And then I press use photo again, done. Now I can go into my list of photos, and I've got my list of photos, and this one down here is really important because I need to get this to somebody quickly. I want to actually raise a work request. I've got a couple of things I can do. So I've got my photo, I've got my little action button in the top right-hand corner. If I press this, it says, do you want to share the photo, or do you want to send a work request to Cirrus8? If I press share photo, I can send that photo straight away via text, via email, and you'll see down here that if you brought that information in from Cirrus8, it will have, so I'm going to email the owner, for example, and it will create an email straight away with the email address of the owner of the property. I can change this copy in here, and I can send that photo to someone straight away and say, hey, I've just noticed this. Is this right? Does this need sorting out? So I can send a picture straight away that's marked up, or otherwise to somebody. I'm going to send that now. The other thing I can do though is I can go into the send photo box, and I can send a work request to Cirrus8. This will then create a floating box, and I can put in here, so it'll actually have the subject, which is the area that we were looking at. It's the exterior of the building. What's the issue that we've got here? And I can drop something in here. There is a damaged, it doesn't like today, Siri. There is a damaged blind outside the front of the property that needs repairing and could be a health and safety hazard. And then what I can do is I can tap to select a priority for that work request. So we've got an option of low, medium, high, and critical. So I can choose whichever I want. I'm going to put critical in here. Contact details are in there. It's got the property code, the lease code. If I'm happy with that now, I can press done, and it will send that work request back up to CirrusFM within the Cirrus8 suite. So you'll see there that it's actually happened. Now, I'm preempting some questions in here. Can I send a number of photos for one work request? At the moment, it's just one photo. We'll trigger the option to be able to send a work request back up to CirrusFM, but it's something that we're looking at for future reference. So we think it's quite a nice tool. Do people understand how that works? Can you give me a thumbs up if that looks at, yeah, okay. Thank you very much. I'm going back into my report now. So what I'm going to do is very quickly just go through my report. I'm going to add some more photos, and then I'm going to submit this back up into Cirrus8. And what I'm going to show you is the split back up in Cirrus8 with the report going back into Cirrus8 and also the work request as well. So ordinarily, I would go into each one of these areas and I would add stuff. I'm just going to go into my bin area. I'm going to add a photo. I went out earlier on today and I took some photos. So if you want to, you can just go to a property, take some photos, sit down after you've been at the property, and then you can import photos into the inspection. So I've got my little icon up here, which accesses my photo library. I'm going to allow access to all photos. Here we go. I've got a lot of pictures in here. There's my bin area that I took a picture of earlier. I'm going to add that photo into that area. Done. And with that picture that I've taken, what I can do in PIM now is I can also open that picture up. I can look at it and I can still post taking the photo in PIM, add some annotations to the picture as well. You'd spend hours playing around with this thing, but it's a really neat little tool. Done. So if you want to, you can just drop into a property, do a quick visit, take some pictures, have a look at them, review them, import them into your system. You can add your comments in here. Bin area requires a cleanup. And obviously bin area needs changing to bin area. Done. Okay, and then I've got my additional areas that go onto the front page of my report. Maintenance required. I'm just going to put my fence in there because I know I can do that. The other thing I was going to show you is I captured before my phrase using BOM. Press BOM, press the space bar. There we go. I've dropped it in. Okay, so that's one where I've gone onto the property. I've realized I'm going to use that phrase frequently. I've saved it to my words and phrases. I put an abbreviation called BOM, keyed it in, pressed the space bar, touched it, dropped it in. Okay, so my report is ready to go, I think. So I go back to Norton Street, Balmain at the top. I'm going to go into here now. I'm going to preview my inspection. So with PIM, I'm just having a quick look at this. What you can do is very quickly have a look at your inspection template, make sure that everything's okay, so you can actually see what's going on. And then if you're not happy with it, you can go back in and make a change. So let's have a quick look. It's taking longer than I thought. Probably got more photos in there. It's probably because I've got all these people on here as well. It's just taking a little bit more time than usual. Okay. And it's at this point that I really would like to have my two border collies beside me so that I could bring them up onto the screen and make people smile. And I can look at those fantastic pandas that are behind somebody on here. Thank you very much. I don't know why it's taking so long to come through. I might just go back and try that again in a second. Just bear me 2 ticks. give me 2 seconds while I just stop this. What I'm going to do is, while it's doing a preview, I'm actually just going to go back into one of my inspection areas, if I can. Or I'm going to do a submit inspection. See if that helps. Okay, I'm going to pull out of this and I'm going to go into Cirrus8. So it must just be hanging because the internet signal in the office has decided it doesn't really want to work. So 2 ticks, I'm going to come out of here, stop mirroring. Oh, looks like it's been uploaded now. There we go. Typical, it's decided to actually do something. I'm going to come back onto here, put back onto my screen mirroring. Sorry about that, folks. Hopefully this will come back in now. Yeah, it has. I'll view it now. So I've got my inspection report. I've got my fencing needs repair replacing on the front in here. I've got my summary with this property is in such bad condition. I've got the areas with the ticks and crosses beside, any notes that I've taken. And then I've got the pictures that I've taken beside this. I've got the area in which they were taken. I've got any notes that are associated with that photo. I've also got in here any annotations on the pictures as well. So they're held against that. And when I've looked at this, I'm not happy because I need to add a cover photo. So what I'm going to do here is go back into my inspection. I'm going to go into my pictures. I'm going to see if I can add a photo of the outside of the property. Let's see what I've got in here. That one looks good. Done. So I'm going to add that photo into my inspection. Press done. I'm then going to choose this picture to go onto the cover photo, as you'd be used as a cover photo. That's good. I'm happy with everything else. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sign off. So I'm going to add a signature and confirm it. And now I'm going to send that back, submit inspection, to go back up into Cirrus8. So sorry about the delay on there. It took a little bit longer than I anticipated, but just one of those things. I'm going to stop mirroring on this and I'm going to go into Cirrus8. Okay, so going into Cirrus8 for a second, I'm going to change my screen. Okay. Can you see my Cirrus8 screen now? Could I have some thumbs up? If you can see it, great stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into CirrusFM. And if I go into CirrusFM, I should have within here, should have put in a work request. And that work request I've got has just come through in here. And from here, it's got damaged blind outside, the front of the property that needs repairing, could be a health and safety hazard. So I've actually sent that straight into CirrusFM from PIM with the notes that are associated with it. I can also look at attachments. So with the attachments, I've got an image that's been sent as well. I can choose to download that. So let's come onto here. And I can open that up. And there's the picture that I took in PIM, sent back into CirrusFM with the notes on that picture and also the associated instructions for the person to put it into the list of work requests. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So just coming back into, again, just going back into CirrusFM. What I've got down here is, if I look for my inspection report, I'm going to look into the leases. I'm going to select by lease. I'm going to select the lease MISC and this one here, and fingers crossed that will now, if I look down my list, I can go down this miscellaneous lease to the area of inspections, which takes a little time to go down to. Lease inspections, here we go. Right, okay, so I've got here's my completed inspection that I've just done. That's been sent up, completed date of 27th of July. I've got the document attached as well. Just gonna move this down a second. So that's changed the status from the scheduled inspection to a completed inspection. It's now got the report saved in there as well, which I can download too. So what I was saying right at the outset is we're very much focused on working with Cirrus8 to make sure that Cirrus8 is the central source of truth. That's where you schedule your inspections, and those inspections can be ingoing, outgoing. They can be a periodic inspection. It can be a common area report inspection. And also you can send your completed or your request, your work request, straight back up into CirrusFM. And then you've got a change of status within CirrusFM from, and this one, unfortunately, I did the other one first, but you've got my report in here that I've just sent up earlier, which has got the pictures and the report that I did a few minutes ago, saved back up into CirrusFM. So CirrusFM, you've got a copy of the report. You've got any work requests that have been sent through. Within PIM itself, you've got your properties that have been inspected. So next time you go to that property, it will produce a repeat inspection based on last time with the areas associated with that inspection, whether it's a routine or whether it's a common area report. And you can choose to have previous comments in there that you can reutilize as the base of your next inspection. Okay. So I'm just going to go back to a final thing, which is, just let me move this. Just let me go back into PowerPoint. Okay. Right. So just going back into our relationship here with CirrusFM. With PIM, you can produce any reports and in the format that you like, with the content that you require, and those can be pushed back into CirrusFM. You can also produce different types of reports. So if you want to customize the look and feel, you can include within your reports photos of the asset manager or the inspector. You can also create a report that is more glamorous, if you like, as a basis of an entry report or an exit report. We can also change these call-out areas to reflect whatever it is that you want to capture information against, and you can make those as simple or as complicated as you like. The other thing is you do have the option within PIM to add your photos after each section. So you don't have to have them all at the end of the report. You can have them after each section if you want to. And we can change the size of those inline photos as well to make them a little bit bigger if you want to too. The other thing is you can name these reports whatever you want. So if you want to have a number of different styles, so say for example, you want to have a site report, a common area report, a health and safety focused report, we can help you set all that stuff up. Okay. Now, one thing that I wanted to really emphasize is a big thank you to the Cirrus8 team, because they've been really, really good for us to work with, and they're very much aligned with ourselves, which is we want to work on producing a system that does what you need as commercial property managers to make your life easier. Now, between the two development teams working together, we can do an awful lot of stuff. The only thing is we need to know about it. So hopefully today's little webinar has shown you that we've got the integration working now as far as the work requests that you can raise. It works as far as pushing back your reports into Cirrus8, and we can do other things down the line as well. So what we would say is if there are any other ideas, anything that you think's missing, which is related to inspections, let us know. One thing that I haven't shown you today, but might be useful for you, is some people are wanting to send the high resolution format of photos that are taken within PIM to a file sharing service. That is possible as well. So if you are interested in that sort of things, we can send you through guides, but essentially when you've completed an inspection, as well as being able to send individual photos to people, you can press a button within the system and it will share those photos either in a zipped up folder, if they're sufficient to be emailed or it's the right size to be emailed, or you could send it through to Dropbox, OneDrive, or another file sharing service, so that as well as having the report saved within CirrusFM, you've got all the individual photos in higher resolution saved within a file sharing service too. So you've got those held for future use if you should require them. Now, I'm going to leave this up on screen for the next few minutes. So if you want to get in touch with us, obviously the chat screen and the chat function is going to be available for the next 5 minutes. If you want to get in touch with us at all, you can email us at support, or you can call us on the 1300 number below. And I think I'll leave it for there for now. If there's anything else that anybody wants, please get in touch with us. And thank you ever so much for being here today. Stay safe, stay happy, and all the best. Cheers now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy.